It's time for the 420 Radio News, covering the latest headlines in consumer cannabis, medical marijuana, and industrial hemp. Transcripts of 420 Radio News are available daily on our website at 420radio.org. Now, here's Russ Belville with your marijuana headlines in 4 minutes and 20 seconds.
This is your 420 Radio News for Tuesday, September 2nd, 2014. Can Washington cities ban pot businesses? A judge in Fife, Washington says yes. This from The Cannabist. A state judge said Friday that a small city can continue to ban state-licensed marijuana businesses in a case with big implications for Washington's experiment in legal pot. Pierce County Superior Court Judge Ronald Culpepper issued the ruling after extensive arguments over whether Initiative 502, the voter-approved state law that legalizes adult recreational use of marijuana, left any room for such local bans. The case concerned a ban in the Tacoma suburb of Fife. Would-be pot proprietor Ted Weatherby sued, saying he was entitled to do business, but the city wasn't letting him. Culpepper disagreed. Quote, Fife's ordinance is not preempted by I-502 or other state law, end quote, he said in an oral ruling. Weatherby said he would eventually appeal. Santa Fe City Council votes to decriminalize marijuana from hightimes.com. The Santa Fe City Council has voted to decriminalize possession of small amounts of marijuana. City officials said in a news release that the council voted 5-4 last Wednesday night to approve the pot ordinance. The measure makes possession of an ounce or less of marijuana a civil infraction punishable by a fine of no more than $25. It had been a criminal misdemeanor. Activists had submitted enough valid voter signatures to force a public vote on the matter. The Santa Fe New Mexican reported that with approval, the council hoped to avoid the costs of a vote and the uncertainty of the question even making the November ballot. The newspaper says the vote makes Santa Fe the first city in the state to decriminalize pot. Marijuana lowers risk of domestic violence from hightimes.com. The use of alcohol significantly increases one's likelihood of becoming either a perpetrator of or a victim of a violent act, including acts of intimate partner violence. As for cannabis use, that's a different story. In fact, according to a just published study in the journal Psychology and Addictive Behaviors, couples who use pot are particularly unlikely to engage in intimate partner violence. Investigators concluded, quote, these findings suggest there may be an overall inverse association between marijuana use and intimate partner violence perpetration in newly married couples, end quote. Legal marijuana states possess lower rates of opiate overdoses from hightimes.com. The enactment of medical marijuana laws are associated with significantly lower state-level opioid overdose mortality rates, according to data published online by the Journal of the American Medical Association. A team of investigators from University of Pennsylvania, Albert Einstein College of Medicine in New York City, and the Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health in Baltimore conducted a time series analysis of medical cannabis laws and state-level death certificate data in the United States from 1999 to 2010, a period during which 13 states instituted laws allowing for cannabis therapy. Researchers reported, quote, states with medical cannabis laws had a 24.8% lower mean annual opioid overdose mortality rate compared with states without medical cannabis laws, end quote. NFL Nation Confidential, players agree with President Obama pot is not as dangerous as alcohol, from ESPN. As part of a survey of 100-plus players conducted by ESPN.com's NFL Nation, 75% of the 82 players who answered said they agree with Obama's statement, which he made during an interview in January with The New Yorker. The NFL's discipline policy on marijuana has come under fire this year after Baltimore Ravens running back Ray Rice received only a 2-game suspension after being arrested for domestic violence. High Times challenges Colorado's restrictions on pot-related speech, from Reason.com. High Times is seeking to overturn Colorado's onerous restrictions on marijuana advertising, which ostensibly are aimed at protecting impressionable children, but probably have more to do with protecting disapproving adults. The Marijuana Enforcement Division has prohibited advertising that is visible to members of the public from any street, sidewalk, park, or other public place. This has been your 420 Radio News for Tuesday, September 2nd, 2014.